Most people believe that wrinkles, age spots, and sagging skin are simply signs of time passing, unavoidable, permanent, and untouchable. That belief feels logical, doesn't it? We see the lines deepen in the mirror, we notice new spots, and we assume nothing can be done. But this common belief is incomplete, and I would even say it is wrong. Skin does not simply age in one direction. It responds, it listens, it heals. And even after 60, with the right daily care, it can still surprise you. Science confirms what ancient wisdom has always taught, that the surface of the skin is not the end of the story. It is a reflection of what is happening inside your body: circulation, nourishment, rest, and even the way you breathe. Why does this matter? Because the state of your skin is more than cosmetic. Healthy, vibrant skin is linked to independence, confidence, and even longevity. When skin cells renew properly, wounds heal faster, infections are less likely, and circulation stays alive. When the skin breaks down, however, it signals deeper risks: loss of resilience, higher inflammation, greater vulnerability. So this conversation is not about vanity, it is about freedom, the ability to continue living with strength, clarity, and presence. Most creams and quick fixes on the market today try to convince us that beauty can be bottled. But true renewal never begins on the surface. No lotion, no mask, no chemical peel can replace the body's natural capacity to repair itself. And when we ignore the root causes, nutrition, movement, sleep, and gentle rituals, we end up treating shadows rather than substance. What we need is not more force but more wisdom. Consider this: when circulation slows, skin dulls; when hormones become imbalanced, pigmentation deepens; when the body is chronically stressed, lines carve faster. And yet, with simple changes, often as simple as how you drink, how you breathe, and how you rest, the very same systems that created decline can be reawakened to support renewal. That is where hope lives. This is not about chasing youth, nor about denying time. It is about living in harmony with it, supporting the body so it can continue to repair, protect, and radiate vitality. Imagine feeling your reflection match more closely with the spirit you carry inside, clearer, calmer, more luminous. That is not only possible, it is natural. Today I will share 6 gentle natural ways, habits rooted in daily practice, not expensive products, that can reverse visible signs of aging, soften pigmentation, reduce wrinkles, and restore the natural glow of your skin. These are methods I have observed, practiced, and taught for decades. They are simple, they are accessible, and they work with your body, not against it. I speak to you as one who has lived for over a century, still studying, still teaching, still grateful for each sunrise. Age has not silenced my body, it has deepened my understanding of how to care for it. And today I will pass that understanding to you. But before we begin, let me ask gently, when you look in the mirror, do you see a reflection that matches how young you feel inside? Or does the person looking back seem older than the spirit within you? Share your thoughts in the comments. I read them with care, and I promise you, your experiences matter here. Habit number 1 is matcha with broth ritual. We begin with what you drink, more precisely, how you can reawaken youth with a simple cup, a blend of matcha and amino-rich broth. Many believe that beauty begins with creams, serums, or treatments placed upon the skin. But the truth I have observed across decades is that renewal begins deeper, from the nourishment that passes through the body each morning. Skin, after all, is not separate. It is an organ, living and breathing, and it thrives on what you feed it. In Japan, matcha is not simply tea. It is medicine in powdered form, concentrating the leaf's protective power. Yet when you stir it into a gentle broth, something remarkable happens. The antioxidants of matcha unite with the soothing peptides of broth, creating a drink that not only calms the spirit, but also strengthens the skin's foundation. This is not modern invention. This is centuries-old wisdom, carried quietly through kitchens and gardens, handed from one generation to another. I recall many years ago, beginning my day with this ritual, a simple miso broth, carefully prepared with kombu and shiitake, into which I whisked a small spoon of matcha. At first it was comfort, but over weeks and months, I noticed something more. The complexion seemed clearer, the tone more even, and the lines that once deepened quickly softened their pace. At the time I did not yet know the full science. Later I came to understand that catechins, the antioxidants in matcha, protect collagen from breakdown, while the amino acids in broth quietly rebuild the skin from within. Let me share a story. A visitor once placed a hand upon my cheek and remarked that it felt like rainwater upon petals. I smiled and gave no secret, but I knew the truth. It was not magic, nor was it expensive. It was the quiet consistency of my morning ritual. A warm cup, sipped slowly, held with presence. Renewal does not always roar. Sometimes it whispers, and science has confirmed what tradition long knew. Matcha catechins reduce oxidative stress, slowing pigmentation and wrinkles. The broth delivers glycine, proline, and glutamine, amino acids essential for collagen repair. Together they nourish not only the skin's surface but its scaffolding beneath. When this foundation is strengthened, the skin holds shape and tone more faithfully, even in later years. So I encourage you to imagine this simple practice. Begin your morning not with coffee, which often excites and drains, but with a cup of warmth that soothes and builds. The steps are simple. Prepare a broth, add a teaspoon of ceremonial matcha, stir slowly, breathe deeply, and sip in stillness. Do this not as a chore, but as a small ceremony of care for the body that has carried you faithfully. Have you ever noticed how some habits, small as they seem, change how you feel about yourself over time? I wonder what morning ritual has surprised you most in its power. Share your thoughts in the comments. Your reflections may guide someone else listening today. If practiced with patience, this daily cup becomes a quiet conversation with the body. Over weeks, pigmentation may appear lighter, wrinkles less pronounced, and the complexion steadier. These changes do not shout. They arrive like spring rain, soft, persistent, life-giving. This is habit number 1. It asks almost nothing of you, only a few minutes each morning, yet it returns more than it takes. In this cup of warmth, there is protection, renewal, and calm, a simple act that reminds your skin it can still glow, and your spirit that it is still deeply alive. Habit number 2 is rice field-inspired leg warmers pose. When speaking of skin, most people think only of creams or foods, but the truth is that the body's movement is just as essential. Circulation, lymph flow, and oxygen delivery all depend on gentle activity. In the Japanese countryside, I often watched rice field workers bending and straightening, not as exercise but as natural rhythm. Their skin held a certain clarity, even in older years. Movement is not punishment. It is nourishment. One particular practice I call the rice field leg warmers pose was inspired by this daily rhythm. It is a simple forward bend, supported and calm, that increases blood flow to the face and neck. In that fresh blood are the nutrients the skin requires to repair and renew. The lymph system, too, becomes activated, carrying away what is dull or damaged. When these rivers flow, the skin brightens. To practice, sit on a sturdy chair, feet steady on the floor. Take a deep, slow breath, lifting through the spine. As you exhale, hinge gently at the hips, sliding your hands down the thighs or shins, just until the head bows softly toward the knees. This is not strain, it is surrender. Stay here for several breaths, then rise slowly vertebra by vertebra, allowing the head to come up last. Do this once or twice a day, perhaps in the quiet of morning or in the stillness of afternoon. It is less than a minute of your time, but over weeks you may notice skin tone brighter, lines softened, and even mood steadier. The forward bend draws fresh energy to the face, while calming the nervous system. When stress hormones like cortisol are reduced, the skin holds youth longer. I recall one elder who began this pose after years of stiffness. At first it felt unusual, but within a month the complexion brightened, eyes appeared less heavy, and sleep came easier. Not because of exercise alone, but because movement restored harmony to the inner flow. This person later said, "I feel as though my skin can breathe again." Have you ever tried a small daily movement and been surprised by the difference it made weeks later? I would love to hear about it in the comments. Your story may inspire someone who feels too weary to begin. Often the gentlest movements bring the deepest renewal. Remember, this is not about forcing youth to return. It is about supporting the natural processes that already exist. Blood, lymph, breath. When they move with ease, the skin reflects that harmony. Pigmentation lightens, puffiness softens, and radiance awakens, not through products but through flow. Imagine yourself bowing gently, as if greeting the day with humility, then rising slowly with renewed clarity. The body feels lighter, the skin responds. This is the essence of habit number 2, a simple bow to yourself, repeated daily, that brings health to the skin and calm to the spirit. This pose is proof that we do not need long hours or complicated routines. A single quiet movement, done with consistency, can protect independence, brighten complexion, and strengthen resilience. This is not exercise to tire you, but movement to restore you. Have you ever tried a simple movement and felt something shift only after days or weeks? If so, I'd love to hear your experience. Tell us in the comments what simple habit surprised you most in its power. Habit number 3 is rice water and seaweed layered shield. When we think of what ages the skin most, we often picture deep lines or the natural passage of years. Yet one of the quietest and most powerful forces is the sun. Its light gives life, but it also accelerates aging when we are unprotected. Many turn only to heavy creams, but in Japan, protection was often layered in softer ways. Inside the body and outside upon the skin, daily nourishment formed a shield as gentle as it was effective. In the kitchens of my childhood, rice was always rinsed before cooking. But that cloudy water, the rinse itself, was never wasted. It was collected, cooled, and sometimes applied to the face or hands. This rice water contains amino acids, vitamins, and minerals that soothe and brighten the skin. Later, I came to understand that this simple water could reduce pigmentation, soften texture, and help skin hold its natural clarity. Seaweed too played its part. Wakame, kombu, and nori were not only food but also medicine. Rich in antioxidants such as fucoxanthin, seaweed supports repair at the cellular level and regulates pigment formation. When combined with rice water, the result is a dual ritual: drink for inner clarity, mist for outer calm. Together, they act as a shield, not heavy or artificial, but whisper-light and deeply nourishing. To prepare, save the first rinse of rice. Strain it into a clean vessel, and for inner care, add a small pinch of ground seaweed. Warm it slightly and sip slowly, as though conversing with your own body. For the skin, pour the cooled water into a spray bottle. At evening, after cleansing, mist gently over face and neck. Do not rush. Press the droplets softly with your fingertips, letting the skin drink. This ritual is not burden, but blessing, brief yet enduring. Picture late afternoon, the golden light of day softening. You raise the spray bottle, and the mist settles upon your face like dew. The scent is faint, comforting, and the sensation feels as though fatigue is lifted away. Over time, as days weave into weeks, you may notice spots soften, texture appear more even, and tone grow brighter. This is the quiet power of patience. Have you ever noticed that the simplest traditions, those almost forgotten, can sometimes create the deepest changes? I would love to know, have you ever tried rice water for skin or seaweed as nourishment? Share your thoughts in the comments, because your story may awaken curiosity in another who is just beginning. Science too affirms this tradition. Rice water helps regulate melanin, the pigment responsible for spots and uneven tone. Seaweed supports collagen repair and reduces inflammation, protecting the skin from further harm. When practiced together, these habits do not erase years, but they restore balance and bring a natural clarity that feels both youthful and wise. I recall one elder who began using this ritual nightly after years of expensive creams. Within a month, friends asked what had changed, and yet the answer was nothing more than rice and seaweed. Practiced with devotion, the skin appeared calmer, more luminous, but the greater gift was the sense of control and care returned to daily life. Small acts hold great weight when repeated. This is habit number 3. A shield, not in the form of thick layers or costly bottles, but in the simplest elements of nature. Rice and seaweed, together creating a veil that is light, protective and timeless. In this way, we learn again that protection is not always forceful. Sometimes it is quiet, layered gently, both inside and out. Habit number 4 is evening rice, chamomile, and yuzu steam. When the sun sets, our bodies prepare for their greatest act of quiet repair. Skin heals most deeply at night, when cells regenerate and balance is restored. But the way we prepare ourselves for rest can decide how fully that healing takes place. If the mind is restless and the body tense, the skin cannot renew as it should. This is why evening rituals are so powerful. They create conditions for restoration that no cream alone can provide. One of the gentlest and most transformative practices I have carried for decades is the nightly facial steam. Not harsh, not overwhelming, but a soft mist created from rice, chamomile, and yuzu peel. Each of these ingredients is simple, familiar, and within reach, yet together they form a calming ceremony that signals to both body and skin, it is time to rest. To prepare, a small pot of water is brought to a gentle simmer. Into it, add a handful of leftover rice, a chamomile tea bag, and strips of fresh yuzu or lemon peel. The pot is then covered, allowing the elements to mingle. When uncovered, the steam that rises carries warmth, fragrance, and healing. Leaning over with a towel draped loosely over the head, the steam embraces the skin, not burning, not forceful, but soothing, almost like being held. As the steam surrounds the face, the pores open gently, allowing impurities to release. The floral sweetness of chamomile relaxes the nervous system, softening the body into readiness for sleep. The citrus notes from yuzu clear the senses and brighten mood, while the starch of rice releases a tender softness that lingers upon the skin. After only a few minutes, one emerges with a calm glow and a quiet mind. Sleep that follows such a ritual is often deeper. Cortisol, the stress hormone that accelerates aging, is reduced. Melatonin, the hormone that guides rest, increases. Collagen and elastin repair themselves more effectively, leading over time to a softening of lines and a renewal of texture. In this way, the ritual is not just a preparation, it is part of the healing itself. I remember once sharing this practice with a friend who had long struggled with restless nights. Within a week, this friend spoke of mornings that felt lighter, eyes less swollen, and skin more at ease under sunlight. The practice had not only renewed the complexion, but had given the gift of peace in sleep. This is the beauty of gentle care. It works upon the body and the spirit together. Have you ever noticed how your skin looks different after a truly restful night compared to one filled with tossing and turning? I would love to know your experience. Share in the comments. Has sleep made a difference you could see in your reflection? Science may explain the details, but experience teaches the truth. Skin thrives when the body rests, and rest is most nourishing when guided by small rituals of calm. This nightly steam is not about expense or complication. It is about consistency, patience, and the simple belief that the body, when given a chance, will always move toward healing. A deep rest ritual that invites the skin to renew and the mind to quiet. It requires little, just rice, chamomile, and yuzu, but its effect reaches far. It reminds us that care is not something applied from the outside only, but something invited through rhythm, breath, and sleep. And with each evening it whispers that renewal is still possible, no matter the age. We're halfway there, dear friend. These gentle habits ask for your presence and give back much more than they seem to cost. If you've tried even one, tell us which and what has surprised you so far. And if you're just beginning, what are you most curious about trying? Habit number 5 is gentle face massage for lymph and tone. As the day winds down, the skin carries not only the marks of time, but also the weight of every expression, every moment of stress, and every trace of fatigue. To honor the skin is to remind it that it is not forgotten, that it is still worthy of touch and care. This is where the practice of gentle massage comes in. Not forceful, not hurried, but quiet circuits guided by the fingertips. Inspired by gua sha, yet softened for daily use, this ritual works not by scraping, but by guiding the body's rivers of lymph and circulation back into balance. The practice is simple, yet its effect is profound. After cleansing or after a soft mist of rice water, place clean hands upon the face. Begin at the chin, with slow upward glides toward the ears, encouraging flow away from the jawline. Then, with the same tenderness, move from the corners of the mouth toward the cheekbones, allowing each sweep to invite lightness where heaviness once settled. From the mid-forehead, guide the fingers to the hairline, smoothing tension where thought has lingered all day. Even the delicate under-eye area can be included, with the softest touch, never forcing, only inviting. To finish, press gently along the jowls toward the ears and from cheekbones to the temples. Each motion should be upward and outward, as though lifting not only the skin but the spirit itself. Oils are not required, though a drop of camellia or grapeseed may add comfort if desired. The key is not the product, it is the presence. As lymph begins to move, puffiness eases. The fibroblasts beneath the skin awaken, stirred by the signal of touch, and slowly they remember their role in producing collagen and elastin. Over time, the face regains tone, not because time is denied, but because circulation is honored and cells are reminded of their own vitality. This ritual is a quiet dialogue between skin and self, one that says, I am still here, I am still worthy of renewal. I recall that in my 80s I gathered with neighbors in the early mornings. We would sit together, sharing tea, and I would guide them through this massage. At first some laughed gently, saying it seemed too simple to matter, but within weeks their cheeks held more color, their eyes more brightness, and their conversations more joy. It was not only skin that was renewed, but spirit. Simplicity, practiced with care, had changed the way they carried themselves. Now let me ask you, have you ever noticed how even the smallest touch can change the way you feel about yourself? Perhaps the hand of a loved one upon your shoulder, or even the way you brush your own hair. Share your experience in the comments. Your story may inspire another to begin caring for themselves in ways they had long forgotten. Science confirms what tradition already knew. Gentle massage improves circulation, reduces swelling, and signals the nervous system to calm. Cortisol lowers, oxygen rises, and with that shift, the skin looks less tired, more alive. It is not magic, it is the body's natural rhythm returning, guided only by consistent, mindful touch. This practice need not take more than 5 minutes, yet it can change the way you see yourself in the mirror. Not because wrinkles disappear, but because they soften, because you begin to see kindness reflected back at you. It is not about perfection, but about presence. Each stroke is a reminder that self-care is not indulgence, but necessity. This is habit number 5. Quiet circuits of the fingertips that reawaken flow, reduce heaviness, and remind the skin it is still deeply alive. With time you may notice tone returning, lines appearing less harsh, and most importantly, a renewed sense of connection with yourself. And now, let us move to the final habit, one that completes the circle of nourishment, movement, rest and touch, by returning to food as a final act of gentle renewal. Habit number 6 is omega-rich sea vegetable snack. At the end of each day, the body seeks not only rest but replenishment. After all the hours of living, speaking, moving and thinking, the cells crave building blocks to repair themselves through the night. The skin, in particular, longs for this nourishment, for it is constantly renewing and protecting. And one of the most time-honored ways to give it what it needs is through sea vegetables, rich in the very fats and minerals that keep skin supple and bright. In the West, much is spoken about omega-3 oils from fish, but for centuries here, the sea itself has provided those same life-giving nutrients through vegetables like nori, kombu, and wakame. These foods are not just staples of tradition, they are gifts from the ocean, carrying omega-3's antioxidants and minerals that help skin repair and restore. To take them in at night is to give the skin tools to rebuild while the body sleeps. One of the simplest ways to do this is with a small evening snack. A sheet of toasted nori brushed lightly with sesame oil, finished with a sprinkle of sesame seeds or a dusting of umeboshi plum powder is all that is needed. The flavor is gentle but satisfying, the texture crisp and clean, and though it feels light, it is deeply nourishing. Taken slowly, it reminds us that food is not only about filling the body, but about guiding it toward healing. The benefits are both subtle and steady. Omega-3 lipids from sea vegetables soothe inflammation, repair the membranes of skin cells and improve moisture retention. Over time, this helps reduce dryness, soften pigmentation and restore elasticity. Skin that once felt tired and thin can regain strength and smoothness, not through force but through patient replenishment. I remember a student from my 70s asking what to eat at night when hunger arrived, but everything felt heavy. I suggested the nori sheet, brushed with oil, simple yet grounding. Weeks later, the student returned, saying not only had the evening hunger softened, but the skin no longer felt as dry in the morning. It was not only the nutrients but the act of choosing something so light and nourishing that restored confidence. Sometimes the small choices make the greatest difference. Have you noticed how certain foods seem to affect not only your body but also how your skin feels? Perhaps a meal that left you glowing, or another that made your skin appear dull. Share in the comments. Your experience may remind someone else of the power food holds in shaping how we look and feel. Science supports what tradition has always taught. Sea vegetables are rich in iodine, which supports thyroid function, keeping metabolism and skin renewal balanced. Their antioxidants help protect against environmental damage, while the omega fats quiet inflammation. Taken consistently, these small bites strengthen skin from within, in a way no cream on the outside can replicate. The ritual itself matters as much as the food. To end the day with something light, intentional and deeply nourishing is to signal the body, repair now, rest now. It transforms the simple act of eating into an act of care. The body understands this language, and the skin responds with gratitude over time. This is habit number 6, an evening sea boundary, an omega-rich, age-friendly snack that closes the day with nourishment. It is the final touch in a circle of gentle habits, offering renewal not just for the skin but for the whole self. Try it tonight and let your body tell you in the morning what it received. We've explored 6 simple, gentle habits today, and each offers subtle, enduring gifts. I wonder of those we've shared which feels most possible to begin tomorrow. Let me know in the comments which one you will try, and I promise you I will read each note. Today we walk together through 6 simple but powerful habits, each carrying the reminder that aging skin is not helpless. With consistency, kindness and gentle nourishment, the skin can respond, renew and even surprise us with its ability to soften, brighten and strengthen. From sipping a warm broth with matcha, to moving with the rhythm of the rice fields, to the delicate layering of rice water and seaweed, every step showed us that nature and tradition still offer solutions for the modern concern of aging. We then honored rest with the calming steam of rice, chamomile and citrus, followed by the soothing ritual of fingertip massage that awakened circulation and flow. Finally, we ended the day with a light but powerful gift from the sea, the omega-rich nori sheet, closing the circle of daily practices with nourishment that supports the skin from within. These are not burdens but blessings, passed down through generations, carried with patience and lived wisdom. The truth is this: it is not grand or costly acts that transform us most, but the quiet ones. A gentle sip, a mindful stretch, a mist across the face, a 5-minute massage, a small sea snack. None feel overwhelming, but together they carry the strength to reverse the signs of time. Aging does not have to be a slow surrender. With the right habits, it can become a season of calm renewal, where independence, clarity and confidence remain steady. I encourage you to choose just one of these practices and begin this week. Allow yourself to notice the subtle shifts and let those changes remind you that the body still listens when cared for. Small daily care becomes great lifelong protection. That is the power of consistency, and that is the gift of respect given to the self. Which of these 6 habits will you begin with? Share it in the comments. I read them all, and your words may encourage someone else to take their first step. Until we meet again, may your skin feel nourished, your days feel lighter, and your independence stay strong for years to come.